Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to week 7, and we are still in JavaScript. It's a very broad technology. Now, today will be all about event handling. Event handling. Now, I sent some stuffs on the group regards to what we'll cover, regards to what we will cover. Event handling, arrow functions, destructuring, spread and rest operators, template literals, functional programming, array methods. So we'll start with event handling. When we are done with event handling, we'll move over to arrow functions. When we are done with arrow functions, we'll move over to functional programming, and then we'll rest our case for today. Then tomorrow we'll continue with spread operators, array methods, destructuring, and template literals. It will be a lovely ride, and we'll see how much you can do. Okay, so event handling. Event handling. Someone asked me the last time, what is the difference between event handling, event handler, and event listener? Safe to say, I have not thought about event handling, and that's actually had me keep me in check so I don't confuse us. Now, I wouldn't be able to cover all concepts of JavaScript because I'm looking at covering React in this cohort. So I'll teach us the basics, the concepts that would prepare us for programming in React. React is a framework of JavaScript, and for you to actually be a complete JavaScript developer, like using JavaScript to build web pages, you need to understand the concept of React. You need to be able to use React to build web pages. I hope I'm making sense. Can anyone still see my screen?
See that.
Thank you. So next week, yeah. So next, please mute your screen. The person that just spoke now that you can see my screen, please mute yours. Sorry, mute your mic. So continue. We'll be covering React next week Sunday. We'll be starting React next week Sunday. It's going to be fun. It's not hard. It's one of the sweetest things you would love to know. Back to what we have for today. Event handling. What is an event? What is an event? Now, in real life, you can say an event is a gathering. An event is a gathering of people about something. You can say that. You can also say an event is a day marked for a particular activity. There are so many definitions of events depending on what the context is. But in this front-end development, event handling does a whole lot. So what is event handling? Event handling in JavaScript is the process of responding to user interactions or other events. An event is an interaction or occurrence that the system recognizes. As simple as ABC. Event handling in JavaScript is the process of responding to user interactions or other events, such as click on a button, typing into a form input, hovering the mouse, submitting a form, a page loading, a key being pressed, resizing the browser window. When I mean events on the browser, we have so many events, so many events, so many events. You can resize your browser. This is what events handlers can do. You can do so many things. You can interact with your browser, with the web page rather, sorry. You can interact, you can see what I'm doing. You can use it to do a whole lot. Event handlers are actually powerful because it's the brain box of building web pages. In all web pages, we have activities that go on. We have so many activities that go on. We have a click on a mouse. Sorry, we have a click on a button. There are just so many. These things enable us perform activities on the web page. These things actually enable us perform activities on the web page. You can do a whole lot using the event handlers. Now, event listing on the other side is a method that enables you attach an event to an element. So someone might ask, what is an event listener? What is an event handler? So an event, when we talk about event listener, you're talking about a method that you can use to attach or add an event to an element. So for instance, you have a button. You can use the event listener to add an event handler to that particular element. And what's the element in question? The element is the button. I don't know if you understand. Let me go over that again. I want us to actually get the theoretical aspect so that when we go back to the functional practical aspect, we are able to understand everything clearly. Now, an event listener is actually a method you use in adding an event and to attach an event to a particular element. So let's say you have 5 buttons. These 5 buttons, you want them to be interactive. You want them to actually do something when something goes on with them. So if a user clicks on the button, it should trigger a particular activity. That activity now is what is called an event handler. So when you click on a button and the button submits a particular form, the button opens up another page, the button does so many things. You can now call that activity an event handler. So the method responsible for that activity being performed is called event handler. What is actually responsible for that particular activity being triggered is what we now call event handler. But you cannot just create an event handler and an event handler cannot just work on its own. It needs an event listener to actually, add it to the specific element you choose to add it to. As simple as that. Now, event handler is the function that runs when an event occurs. The listener is the setup mechanism. The listener, the event listener and all of that is called the setup mechanism. It is what sets up the element to receive that event handler. Handler, on the other hand, is called the reaction logic. Handler on the other side is called the reaction logic. So once you click on whatever element that carries an event listener, whatever that is being triggered, whatever activity that particular element performs is now called the event handler. Okay, with that, I hope I've been able to make sense. On the other, so going further, event handling is the code you write to listen for those events and define what should happen when they occur. So for instance, if someone blows your nose, you might likely bleed. The process of you bleeding is what is called event handling. Simple. Let me use that weird example. When you on a car, the car is able to on, right? And the car is able to move. For the car to be able to move and all of that, an event handler has been attached to it through the use of event listener. So that activity that goes on to enable the car move, to able to be able to on, for the car to be able to get started up and do a whole lot is called the event handler. Now, what are your questions? Are there any questions on your mind? Just one person who is confused at this point before we go forward. Who has questions? Can anyone still hear me? Let me confirm that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Please, is my screen still visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Now let's proceed. Let's do some practical stuff. I think you would all understand with that. All right. Shall we? Let's do some example. So we've created a button. This is an element. For those that still don't understand, this is an element, and we gave it an ID of team button. Just something we did in our last class. This is an element called a button, and then we gave it a click here name, and then we gave it an ID of team button. Now let's go to our JavaScript to have a better understanding of what we are saying so far. So first things first, let's create a handler. Let's create a handler. All right. So this is an example of what we call event handler and event listener. Let's test what we are doing before we. All right, you can see hello to me. Hello to me. Anytime you click on this button, it will alert hello to me out. So let's go into our script.js. So move over to the next topic for today. Now, if you look at these two, I know we've all done our assignments, even for those of us that have not done our assignments. The little assignment I gave on the two assignments actually require you to use an event handler and event listener. I had to take my time to teach it again so that we clearly understand what we are doing. Most of us are copying from ChatGPT, which is beautiful. I love it. But I also want you to understand in in-depth terms. Now, look at this. I said earlier that an event handler is a function that runs when an event occurs. It's like a reaction logic. It's like that thing that happens when you start your car. And what's the function of the car, right? The function of the car is for it to move, carry you to your required destination. The function of a clothes is to cover your nakedness. We also have everything has a function. The function of your laptop you're currently using or whatever device you're using for this class is to actually help you stay in sync with information technology. Now, when creating an event handler, you need to give it a function. What is going to happen with whatever you are attaching it to? Now, you cannot attach your event handler directly to your element. Look at this. On our HTML, we have this button called click here or click me, whatever you choose to name your own button. But we don't have anything for this button to do. We just have an ID. Now, for it to make this is an element, this button is an element. For it to make this button functional, we need the power of event handler. Yes, we need the power of event handler, but we cannot just carry an event handler and attach it directly to our elements. It won't be proper. So what do? We create the function for it to do what we choose it to do. So what I did was, from the knowledge of functions that I've taught you guys, function hello to me was the name of my function, is the name of my function rather. Then you put in your argument parentheses here and your curly braces. Now inside of it is where you tell the function what is the function going to do. So inside of it, I gave it an alert of hello to me. So whenever that button is clicked, it should do what? It should trigger hello to me as a message, as an output message. Same goes for the event listener. Now, the event listener is a method that helps you attach a handler to whatever element you choose to attach it to on your own terms. What do you do with the event listener? You use your DOM manipulation method, which you already know, document.getElement by ID. Now, what is that ID? Team button. You go back to your HTML. Your ID is team button. So you pick up your ID, attach it on the getElement by ID, whatever, put the name there. Now, what you've successfully done, let me remove this. Without this now, what you've successfully done is to what? Grab the ID. but you've not attached it to anything. So the next thing you do is just add event listener. And what are we doing there? We are listening for events. We are listening for events. But in this scenario, we are listening for a click event. We are listening for a click event. Don't forget. So whenever a click event happens on that particular button, this function called hello to me would be triggered. And what is embedded inside that function? Alerts hello to me. Now, we can now go back inside our function and change it. Instead of alert this time, we can use a console.log hello to me. So you can see now I changed the function activity inside of it to console.log instead of alerts. So if we go back to our web page and we click on this button, click here, nothing will happen anymore. But instead, the amount of times I've clicked on this button, it will now display on my console. So let's check that out. Okay. So you can see I've clicked it like 17 times. I've clicked it like 17 times. See, I've gone back to click it again. Let me see if I can make this thing a little bit big so that So if I go back, can anyone still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me make it big. I want you guys to see my screen. So if I come here and click again, click here, you can see it has increased to 19. To just be listening to clicks, it's now 20. I click again, 21. I click again, 22. I click again, 23, just like that. So the only thing that will just be happening is whenever I click, it will be logging it inside the console. And this is the console, you can see. It will be logging the events happening inside the console as long as there's a click involved. As long as there's a click involved, the handler will be doing its thing, and then the function activity will be called, which is the reaction logic. Does this make sense? Who has questions? Does this make sense? Is there any part now confusing you? Who has questions? Before we move over to arrow functions, who has questions?
All
right,
so I wanted to know where to eat.
Hello?
I said, sir, I was not here from the beginning. So I wanted to know where this console is located.
Okay. Why were you not here in the beginning? Where were you?
I said, I'm not feeling well.
Oh, you're not feeling well?
Yes.
Oh, so sorry. What's your name?
My name is Steph.
Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Sorry, I was cracking jokes with. So, this is how you do it. Now, guys, let me make this make sense to us. You see this your VS Code, you're writing your codes and doing your thing. You're doing it locally. You're writing code. It's like I'm trying to make it make sense to you so you understand before I answer your question. Now, whatever you're writing on your VS Code is to enable you communicate with your browser. You are called a programmer for a reason. Your VS Code is like your notebook, right? And your notebook is where you write whatever you choose to write. The difference between your notebook and VS Code is VS Code can communicate with your browser locally, but you can't communicate with your notebook. Now, when we write codes on our VS Code, we are now communicating with our browser. Now, on your browser, we have there's a reason why JavaScript is called the browser language. What JavaScript does is it communicates with the browser, whatever you're doing. Now, for you to be able to see the activity that goes on behind the scene, you right click or you left click, depending on how your system is configured. So you come down and you see this thing called inspect. Look at it here, inspect. You click on it. Now I've clicked on it. Yeah, so you can see. So it's showing you what we wrote in our VS Code already. Already showing us here. Now, this browser now has elements. It has different sections. It has a sources section. See the files that we've created. This is like the source of where is the source of this web page coming from. This is the local host connection. I don't want to dive too deep so we don't get confused. Now look at all those files that are created. So VS Code acts like a middleman between you and the browser. It enables you what? Write your codes and then it passes it on to your browser for interpretation. That's why it's called, the definition of JavaScript is called a high-level interpretation language. It interprets whatever you're writing to the browser, and the browser gives an output. Please don't forget, let it stick with you. Now we have the console, we have the sources, we have the elements, we have the network, we have performance. Maybe another time I will dive deep to tell you what all of them do. But for now, just bother yourself with the console part of the browser. Like, bother yourself more about it because you would do a whole lot with it. So it tends to have record of whatever activity your web page is carrying out. Whatever activity your web page is carrying out. Now, James, I hope in the process I've been able to answer your question on how to open this console. Do you now understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So, aside your VS Code, for you to be able to know that you're on the right track, try to communicate with your console or your browser so you see what is happening behind the scene. Now, that's by the way. Who is next? Just one more question and we move over to arrow functions.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Who is speaking?
It's me, sir. Steven.
Okay, go on, Steven.
Sir, concerning the add event listener. So the click function there. Is there any other apart from can use?
Yes. We have, where's my slide? Yes, did you join the class early?
No, I was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, so aside click, look at it. We have click on a button, which is the one we just practicalized now. Typing into a form input, hovering the mouse, submitting a form, a page load, a key being pressed like on your keyboard. Have you ever wondered how is it that I'll be filling a form and then once I press on the enter button, it just sends my whole information? Have you not asked yourself all those things? Those dynamics are what event handlers can handle. Resizing the browser window, which we've just done. There's a whole lot aside these ones I've shown you guys. Do you now understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move forward. Time is not as time. We have.
I want to ask a question.
Go on.
Yeah. Okay. In other functions, all these typing into a form and the rest. Are we still going to use them format as the
Yes, why not? Like when we create a form, and then whether you would use event handlers
Yes,
Hello,
that's
can you hear
yes,
me? If
yes,
we would use event handlers for our forms,
yes. That's what I'm saying.
sure, why not? Sure, why not? We'll do form validation. That will be our first React project. Our first React project will be a form validation, and then you would use handlers on it. So get ready. Does it make sense?
Maybe till then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have a lot to cover. If not, we would have done a form. That would take like much of our time. So we are just trying. That one is, you can sit here, typing into a form input, hovering the mouse, submitting a form, a page loading, a key being pressed. There are a whole lot. These ones I just showed us. I just showed us the first example, a click on a button. That one is very easy for everyone to understand. So as we go on, we use other ones. There are so many event handlers. Now, don't, sorry, don't it's not that particular thing. These particular things are not event handlers, they are event listeners. Let's not confuse ourselves. I don't know why I've been answering that question incorrectly. You just asked if we would use a event handler on your form. Yes, we would use, but the event handler is being created by you. Let me make you understand. So you don't actually limit your mind to what's happening. The event handler is created by you. The event listener is where you don't really have that kind of, you are limited, because what activities are you listening to? Are you listening to a click on a button? Are you listening to when a user clicks the enter button to submit the entire form he has filled? What particular function are you creating? That depends solely on you. It does not concern anybody. So event handlers are not limited. It depends on you. What are you going to embed inside of it? What are the function you're using? That is very broad. When it comes to event listeners, you're kind of limited, because what events are you looking out for? Is it a click on a button? Is it a resizing feature? Those things now. Once you look at all those things, you now put your event handler on the back to actually handle whatever event listeners would be observed by the user. So in summary, in summarizing event handler, because we are moving over to arrow functions, whenever a user performs an event, your event handler is the reaction logic that covers what they are to experience on your web page. In summary, so if I click on a button, that is an event listener that would grab that particular event. A click on a button, a whatever at all, it is a listener. So after that, what next? That is where an handler comes in. Okay, let me step in. A click, I heard somebody knock. Let me go and answer the door. So once the person goes on, okay, somebody is knocking at the door. Maybe my sister is at the door. What am I supposed to do? Open the door to let the person come in. So in the process of you opening that door to let your sister or brother come in, that's what the event handler is there to do. So when someone knocks on the door of the web page, the event handler is there to, okay, I'm here to open the door to let you in. As simple as that. Moving forward. Arrow functions. Arrow functions. Now, I taught us about functions, but we have arrow functions. And what is an arrow function? An arrow function is a shorter way to write a function in JavaScript. It was introduced in ES6 2015, and it looks just like this. I'll dive deep, don't worry. This is not just this is not just what we have on arrow functions. Now, presumably there is actually a shortcut to everything. Yes, if I want to travel down to Abuja, I can take a flight, I can take a road, I can take a flight, I can travel through road, I can travel through train, I can also trek down to Abuja. All these methods of transportation are very possible. But the thing there is, what time would you arrive using these modes or nodes of transportation? What what methods of transportation would you now be using to achieve your aim would be the question. That's the issue. If you travel by air, you will arrive very quick. 30 something, 20 something minutes. You're in ABJ from Lagos, right? 30 something minutes max. Yes, for those who fly regularly. If you use road, you should be settling in for some hours, presumably. That's in so hour. If you leave by morning, leave Lagos by morning, you should get to Abuja by evening, or even maybe late night, depending on how good the driver is. Same with the train. The train is more faster than using road. We also have trekking. Trekking is also sweet, but it's not safe. But they will all get you down to Abuja. Now let's come out of that. We have functions. These functions enable you what carry out different activities on your web page. For instance, we just used a function. Going back to our code, we used a function to carry out an event some minutes ago, which is this. You can see this function is what has enabled us to carry out an event handling on our web page. Someone will now be confused. What is the problem? I'm confused there. I'm seeing event handler, I'm seeing functions, I'm seeing this, but they all look alike. They're all doing the same. What is happening? I'm confused. Can somebody help me? I don't know how to break it for you, but this is where logic comes in. That's why I teach the things alphabetically, like from up to down, for you to be able to understand. I'm teaching map method, and for each method, like in the next few minutes, but I want to teach you arrow functions because we'll use it in creating some mappings and some for each stuff. So it's like me going from up to down. So just follow me. If you get confused at any point, it is totally fine. It is totally fine, please. You don't need to stress your brain. It's just for you to go over it like 5 to 10 times. That's just, I promise you would understand it by the 10th time. No matter how difficult it is, by the 10th time you would understand it. So let's come back. Now, it might look very dicey and confusing. Why are we having an event handler looking the same thing? But is it not the same way he taught us function? This was how he taught us function some weeks back. How come this is now an event handler? So please don't get confused. Everything would actually click. So let me erase this entire code. Usually, this is how a function looks like. Function text message. Let me just use that. Function text message. Message. So like this now, we've created a function. As simple as this now, we've created what? A function. So now the thing that will be like, This also looks like an event handler. Functions are very broad. Functions are used in almost everything. Every single thing we use functions for. We use functions for virtually everything. For you to be able to send money to other people through your bank app, a function handles it. A function enables you even come on Telegram to join this class. A function lets you do numerous things. It lets you do a lot of activities on your web page. So it is something for you to get in sync with. Looks confusing. That's why I'm teaching you the basics so that you understand. Now, I taught us this kind of function some weeks back, but we have a better way and a shorter way of writing our functions, which is more fast, more efficient, and more effective. Does this work? Yes, it works and very clean, but there's a better way of writing our function for it to actually make sense. Now, what are arrow functions? So let me just, so for those who were still confused some weeks back, you create a function by using the function keyword, which is function space, then the function name, which is the name of the function, the argument parenthesis bracket, and then your curly braces, and inside of it is where you write whatever your function is to carry out. So in this purpose, we are writing console.log hello there, and then we are calling it down by text message. So let's just see the output. This is not even part of the class, but this is just me showing you how beginners are to learn functions. So scripts.js, oh sorry, not scripts.js. So you can see our output was hello there. Now this by the way is not part of our class. This is a very good way to write your functions. Don't get me wrong. But we have what we call the arrow functions. I am teaching us so that we will get prepared for React. The React, you will be using arrow functions on a daily basis. Now, this is an arrow, this is a function, a normal way of writing your function. Very good, very pure function. It is a pure function. But we have a more shorter way, which is what I'm about to teach us. Now, arrow functions are a concise way of defining functions in JavaScript. Very concise way. It has concise syntax. Arrow functions use a shorter syntax than traditional function expressions rather, just like I've shown you. It also has lexical scopings. Arrow functions inherit this context from their surrounding scope. Let me go back to our slide. It's in summary. I'll show us an example of an arrow function. I'll write that out. But this is me just trying to show us the definition of what an arrow function is. Now, what are those key features of an arrow function? An arrow function can do a whole lot. It is more readable. It is less, you tend to write less codes. You tend to do a little bit less than what you should have done writing a normal pure function. Now, let's go back to our code. Let me create two functions. So this is the normal function that you know. So this is the normal function that you know. So this is the normal function you know that every one of us know, right? Function add. This is the name of the function called add, and then you do your thing, return x plus y. But we have a better way of doing things. And what's the better way of doing things? Arrow function. How do you create an arrow function? This is how you create an arrow function. As simple as ABC. Arrow function. Yes. So which one is more neat? Which one is more neat? Obviously the arrow function. An arrow function is short, it is simple, it is concise, it has suitable callback arrangement, and that for me is a plus. Plus we are learning React in some moments, and then getting used to arrow functions will be the best way to actually learn whatever we would be learning. Does anyone have any question? Does anyone have any question?
Yes, what is arrow function?
What is arrow function?
Useful. Yeah, what is it?
What is it?
What are you asking for the definition of arrow function?
No, the function.
The function now, what?
I'm confused. What are you trying to say?
At what point
At
do we
what
use the
point
arrow
do we
function?
use the arrow function?
You use the arrow functions as you want. At any point. Instead of using this, you can use this. It still works. All right. Any question? Does anyone have any question? Okay. Let's proceed. We are making progress.
I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
Okay. My question is, when function. You didn't add double, but when you wrote double so came.
I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you.
I said that when you type function, you didn't add double stroke, but you did that when you type.
Okay, you're asking that when I wrote this one, I
Yes.
did not add this arrow.
No, that's double slash before arrow.
Okay, this one. Is it this one?
No, on top, the blue one,
I'm confused.
slash. The one you now.
Okay, is it this? Wait.
That way, yes.
This is a comment, oh. It's a comment, oh. It's not part of the function, oh.
Okay.
Yes. So, it doesn't mean that you already know the drill now. It's a comment. The browser does not read this comment whenever you write slash, double slash, or if you write one to give you error. So when you want to write comment, you do double slash, and then for illustration basis, for you to be able to understand. That's why I add comment so that you understand. So this is a pure function. And many beginners tend to use this pure function. If we were not learning React, I would not even introduce arrow function. But since you are learning React, you don't have a choice. We must learn arrow function. Usually, if you check beginners code, I don't think, okay, I've not gone through your all assignments, your assignment, your various assignments. So I wouldn't know who have used arrow function or not. But I can bet that everybody used pure function. So pure function is very good. It's not bad. In fact, I use it most of the times. But you want to write a more concise way of writing your stuff. An arrow function does the trick. It's still efficient, short, and perfect. When you're writing your arrow function, you don't need to add function add. You don't need to write function add. No. You use the const keyword, let keyword, or var keyword, depending on what you want to use. Then you write your const, then the name of the function equals to, and the parenthesis, what argument are you taking in, x and y, then the arrow function must be there. This is what would return whatever I choose to return as the function activity. Yes, so this acts as the return keyword you can see here, and then also acts as the return, as the function keyword, and then the return keyword. This function symbol you're seeing here, please don't forget. Then you write whatever you want the function to do. Please mute your mic. Someone's mic is not muted. Everyone check your mic.
It's my own. It's my own.
Okay. So that settles it. Going forward, who has questions so that we proceed?
Really small.
I have a question, sir.
Go on.
Okay, so my question is this arrow function, can we use it in the event listener too? I'm trying to call it function. This arrow function, can we use it in the event listener? I'm trying to call it function.
If we can use it for event listeners,
Yes.
sure, why not? Sure.
Okay.
I did not use it because I've not taught you guys. I use the normal way. But while you're doing your own event listener stuff, you can use it. It works very well.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So as your own form of self-improvement, because I wouldn't be able to teach you all everything. But I think that would be a very, very efficient way of making all of us learn how to use arrow function. Our next assignment, maybe you're only permitted to use arrow functions. That would be lovely. In that way, even if you make mistake, at least you used it. So it's a win-win. Maybe that would make all of us go and research on how to use it. I've thought on how to use it. So the reason why I'm teaching arrow function now is because we are about to enter map method, and for each method, it is called functional programming. So I'll use it in teaching the map method, and then so that it makes more sense. Okay, that aside, let's proceed. Who has more questions? Okay.
It's not.
I just you have a question?
Yeah, it's not really a question. Can you use like your terminal? Let's confirm something.
You said
The result of this terminal. Also confirm.
we did not add value. There's no value attached to this, and this is not logged. This is not logged. So don't expect an output. Does it clear you now?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see this is a function that adds two numbers together. Okay, let me ask you, what do you ask this particular function? What does this function do? I've already said it already. I would have asked you before I said. Can you explain what these two? There are two functions here. They are the same thing. They do the same thing. What do you understand that I was able to do?
Yeah, if you wanted to add whatever that you plus the one that you get, right? So you're supposed to return like
Thank you. So we are still on track. This function is responsible for adding two values together and then returning an output. As simple as that. So if we were to give this an output, all we need to do is create another variable, store in the values, and give it an output using console.log method. That is that. Okay, so let's move over to functional programming. We are making progress. Now, it's let me digress a little bit. We've been hearing a whole lot of English. Let's digress. Let me make every one of us feel at home so that because I know at this point, some persons they have a whole lot of questions on their mind, you know. Now, please, guys, there's a reason why this is more logical. It's it's not even about you knowing maths. Even if you know maths, you can be very useless in this particular field. It's a logical field, meaning you would have things that would mess up your brain. We've learned two things just in some minutes. We've learned event handling, event listener, and arrow functions. The reason why you've been taught each of these concepts is to enable us apply it to a particular project of ours. Yes. So we are not just learning this, learning that. You have a final project to do at the end of your learning phase. Whatever you have learned, you would be mandated to apply each of these concepts to give a particular product. So have that picture of you in a market, like just picture yourself in a market, you're going to get things to cook a meal, you want to cook a soup. This soup would need ingredients, pepper, maggi, this one, that one, to make a perfect meal. That's what we are currently doing. We've picked up 3 ingredients today: event listener, event handling, arrow function. We're about to enter map and for each method. These are called functional programming. Functional programming. You use it to interact with your codes. As we go on, you'd understand everything I've been speaking. From the starting of JavaScript, we're able to learn variables, data types, array, you know, arithmetic methods, you know, objects, uh, so all of those manipulations, these are all ingredients that we are picking up from the market. By the time we are done, we will now use it to apply it to our project, whatever project you'll be told to build. Now, I'm discussing with the product designer team, and I requested for a design. For your final project, you'll be given a design, and that design, you replicate it as your final project. So get ready. Whatever we are doing is actually a preparation for that particular project. So get ready. You'll be given a design. That design, you would implement that design to the nearest possible way you can implement it to. That would now prepare your mind for what is expected of you out there in this field. So get ready, get prepared. If you can start trying your hands on little things even before that time, no problem. That's why I'm giving you this small project, a quiz app, a toggle button. This new week, you'll be doing a new project. All of that and many more. You can now add all of them together, and build a final project that will have combination of all of them. We built a portfolio page some days back, 2-3 weeks ago, right? We've done some little things. So please don't forget whatever you've done. Go back and look at them because they will help you. You have a journey ahead of you. Sorry for scaring you, but it's just the truth. Now, for each method. For each is an array method in JavaScript that executes a provided function once for each element in the array. Now, some persons call for each an array method, totally fine. Some people call map method an array method, it's totally fine. But I love to call it functional programming. Why? It does a particular activity. And anything that does a particular activity, I love to call it a function. So functions are so vast. These are called functional programming. Now, you see these two methods, I want you to actually eat them, sleep on them. You would use it a whole lot the journey ahead. I'm preparing you, I'm not scaring your mind. It's not difficult. If you just need you to look at it for like 10 to 20 times before it will enter your brain. So if you have looked at it for just 5 times and it's not entering, do it till the 20th, till the 10th time. If you do it after 20 times, it doesn't enter your brain, it is not for you anymore. Just go your separate way. Find another boss and enter. The journey is not for you anymore. Sorry for discouraging you. Don't mind me, I'm just being sarcastic. Okay, so let's say you have a bag. For each method, I'm teaching for each method now. I'm trying to play with a real life scenario, a real life example. For each is an array method in JavaScript that executes a provided function once for each element in that array. I will explain. Imagine you have some content in your bag that you want to take out of the bag. The for each method is actually used to take out each of these contents out of the bag each time you want to use them. So for instance, your bag contains a laptop, your book, your pen, your book, your laptop, and your laptop charger. Your laptop would be used to do whatever activity you need to do online. Your laptop charger would be used to charge your laptop, right? Your book would be used to write things. Your pen would be used to do this. These things now, you can use a from each method to bring them out consistently as you want. So the for each method is called anytime you want to execute a provided data in the function array. So each time you want to use any of them, you bring them out and apply them as you want on the go. On the go, that's like the best definition I can get to relate and resonate with you. Let me also get one. What can I use? What can I use? Okay. This would not do not really get, but I think it will make sense. So for instance, you're a 9 to 5 worker, right? And as a 9 to 5 worker, there are some things you do on a regular basis. Once you wake up, you say your prayers depending on your religion. Most persons don't pray. But let me skip that part because it's not a constant for everyone. So as a 9 to 5 worker, you wake up, you take your bath. When you take your bath, you brush your teeth, you take your bath, you come out, you rub whatever you need to rub, deodorant, cream, as it goes. And then what is the next thing you do? You wear your clothes and then off you go to a workplace. You come back and repeat the same process again. Now, look at bathing, brushing of teeth, eating, wearing your clothes as elements. Now, look at your life as an array. Your life now, look at your own life as an array. Now, look at the energy you use in doing those things. the energy you use in bathing, the energy you use in eating as a for each method. So the for each method enables you to now do those things consecutively. You're able to wake up. The for each method helps you wake up. For each method helps you eat. For each method helps you eat, drink, wear your clothes, bath, do stuffs, and then get to work, come back. For each method enables you. You yourself, the entity, you're an array. Picture yourself as the array. Then the for each method as the thing that enables you carry out those activities. Now look at the bathing, the eating, wearing of clothes, going to work as the elements inside the array. I hope this is making sense. Now let's do some practical stuff so we get better understanding. Is my screen still visible?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, so let's proceed. I hope I try as much as possible to make every single thing make sense. Please, if it is not, if it is confusing, let me know. So let's do something that makes us understand it for each method. So for instance, I'll create let's let my I'll create an array. Let my life, let my life, just like I've explained, I'm trying to create an array now. I've created an array, but nothing is inside this array. Nothing is inside this array. So I would go on. Waking up. Waking up will be the first one. Waking up, comma. The next one, brushing teeth. This thing will be too long, but I don't want it to be too long. Let me so that I can zoom out and my text is bold because most persons can't see my screen. Brushing teeth, comma, bathing. Let me go to next line because some persons might not see my screen. Bathing, then comma, rubbing cream, rubbing cream, comma, wearing clothes. This will be too long. Wearing clothes. I think I'll stop here. Okay, one last one. Then the last one, off to work. Off to work. Makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Now we've created an array. This is like what happens in my life. This is like the things that go on to my life. Now, how is this now going to be? Would now create a for each method that would go through these things and give us a good output. So the next thing I'll do is implement the for each method. So I will go next and I will do my list, my life dot for each. So you can see if for each is there. I'll create an item function. Oh, sorry. My day-to-day life, I did not add the item, see me, plus item. I did not call the function argument. So this is a function, this is the function argument. What argument is the function taking? Which is all of this. So yeah, so let me all right, let me give this in space. My day-to-day life is, yeah, so this should make more sense. Let's run it again. Node script. All right. So I believe I've been able to communicate how this thing works. This is like I just got it on the spot. I've just been thinking, what's that perfect example? I don't like to communicate your first instance shouldn't be something that is confusing. It should be something that is relatable, something that you understand vividly. Shouldn't be complex. So I just got this on the spot while teaching us a perfect example of how the for each method operates and how it is being used. So look at this, right? You already know the drill. Without explaining, you have a perfect example of the for each method. So let me go see our output now. My day-to-day life is, waking up. Where is waking up? My day-to-day life is waking up. My day-to-day life is brushing teeth, bathing, rubbing cream, wearing clothes, So this is how the for each method actually operates. The for each method allows you to do things, execute your code as you like. You pick the first, you pick the second, you do the third, and finally the fourth consecutively. Who has questions? We've picked up the third ingredient for today, which is the for each method in functional programming under array methods. Who has questions from this? Is there anybody confused? I feel like maybe you guys are scared of me or something because when I still see that you guys chat on the group and tell us, this thing's still hard though. But in class, nobody shows any sign of, oh, what you're teaching does not make sense. Please tell me to my face if what I'm teaching isn't making sense to you. Feel free. I'm not going to.
But it's like
I'm
we are
not.
performing magic when we are in
Oh,
class.
that's the thing. So I understand, right? It's programming. Programming makes you feel like you're creating a human being, and everything happens so fast. And you'll be like, "What's happening?" The first day I created my first, just to gist with you guys. The first day I created my first web page that just showed. Let me go back to this page. Where is our output? Though? The thing just showed. Okay, it just showed hello world, like text hello world, not this clicker. I did not sleep that night. I was so happy. The amount of joy inside of me was like, Jesus, I've created something. I've created a human being. I couldn't sleep. I was with, because we were two friends together staying in a place in Port Harcourt then. I did not sleep. 2020 breaking 2021 was when I started writing programs. And I was like, I created my first web page. Man, this thing looks fun. I couldn't sleep. I was showing neighbors that I gist with. See what I've done. See what I've done. Even if what I have done is not even presentable, but I did something. That feeling. The more I go, the more I'm craving for more exciting activity to do with what I'm learning. Shey you get? So it's magic, yes. I can actually agree with you, but the magic does not just happen on its own, right? You're the magician holding the wand, so you're to do it the way you want. So please, if you have any question or you're confused or whatever, please ask me. I will not reduce your grade. I will not come after you. I know your grades means a whole lot. And for those joining late, that joined late, I've not marked. Oh, I've not marked. I'll mark this midnight. I'll use the whole of this midnight to read your codes one by one using your medium. Yeah. So if you have not sent your medium, I'm not sure I would mark your stuff. Yes, I might just give you a low score for submitting, but without your medium, I wouldn't do anything with your stuff. I'm so sorry. Although there are some I marked without medium, like 6%. That was at the beginning stage. I figured out that they were using some form of AI stingy, and it's not, there's no originality to it. Even if you use AI, let it look original. So I say, okay, the best way is to use medium. Please, guys, is there anyone who has questions from this third ingredient we've picked up from today?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. Go on.
So initially, what
What
for each
for
was
each
supposed
was
to like,
supposed to like,
if you want to
if you
pick
want to pick
one of the
one of the
information in the
information in
in the like in the Gaussian,
Russian,
you just
you
use this.
just use the.
So that's what I
That's
felt.
what I felt.
I didn't know that
I didn't know that
this leave out all
leave
this
out all this
one.
one. I not hear you. I not hear you.
Can you hear me
Can
now?
you hear me now? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said
Yeah, I said
initially
initially
I thought
I
the
thought
for
the
each was
was
supposed to pick
supposed to
out
pick out
um
um
probably
probably
broad from the
from
array.
the array.
Only that.
Only that. Okay, you can't understand why it was adding this my day-to-day life.
No, no, no.
No, no, no.
I
No,
said
I said
I
for
thought
each. I thought
what it's supposed
what
to
is
do is
supposed to
just
do is
pick
just
out
pick out
one
one
information from the
information from
array.
the array. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I
that's
felt
what I
the
felt
for each
the
was
for
supposed
each
to
was
do.
supposed to do. So actually, you can pick out one item from the array, which I've just done. You can still stay on the call. Let me. Oh no no. So the for each method goes from top to down. If you want to iterate over an array, in simple terms, iterating over an array from top to down, that's what the for each method does. It iterates over each element in the array. It does not output just one. Yes, I arranged my day-to-day activities from top to bottom quite all right. But it does not signify that it's just one output I'll be getting. No, it gives the output 1, 2, 3, 4, just like on the go. So in summary, the for each method is a method in JavaScript that allows you to iterate over an array or maybe iteratable or whatever. I hope this makes sense. I don't want to let me not make this so complex as it would seem.
Sorry, I have a
Yeah, I
question.
understand.
Go on.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Thank you
sir.
for
Thank
the
you for
lesson.
the lesson.
You're always thanking me. Before
Oh,
you ask your question, they always thank. Go
what I
on.
was going
What
to
I was
ask,
going to ask, I was going to.
I saw that
I saw that
zero
zero
in front of the
in front of
item.
the item.
This function,
So
So
console.log
console.log
my
my
day to
my
day.
day
Okay, you're
dot
wondering
item.
why it is
item.
there.
There was a zero
There
in
was a
front of the
zero in
item
front of the
initially.
item initially.
No, no, I've removed it. I've removed it. I
I was
wanted to
going to
I
ask
was
why
going
perform.
to
it's there.
ask why it's there.
Yeah, I've removed it. It's not part of the code. I was just doing something else. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's
Yes,
okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, I've removed it. It's not part of it. Just digest this one first. Let me not lead you somewhere else. Now, please, I hope we understand why I added this my day-to-day life is I gave it a space and then space plus item. Please, I hope you understand it. It's like giving a perfect output, readable perfect output.
I have a question.
Go on, go on. Go
Okay,
on.
okay. So my question
My
is,
question is
the
the
the item,
item.
is
Yeah,
it the name
Is
of
it
the
the name of
function?
the function?
it's a callback function. It's a callback function. It's a callback function. It's a function. It's a function, but it's a callback function. It is calling what what is inside this array. It's like a bag that has a lot of things. Hmm? Let me not use bag. I try to use
Okay,
realistic examples, but just have it in mind that it is a callback function that is executing for each element inside the array. Does it make sense?
yes, sir.
I have a
I have a
question.
question.
Go back, go on.
The question
The
I want to
question I
ask
want
is
to
not
ask is not
even related to
even
what we
related to
are
what we
doing
are
today.
doing today.
Okay, go on.
But what I just
What I
noticed
just
is
noticed is
during the
during the
assignment that
assignment
you
that
gave
you
us,
gave us,
I see
I
that
see
those
that
things,
those
I
things,
mean, the way they
the way they
manipulate
manipulate
everything,
everything,
maybe they
maybe
just
they
start
just start
bringing out
bringing out
English,
English,
start
start
instructing
instructing
the
the
computer to do
computer to
this, to
do
do
this,
that, but
to
I've
do that, but
not
I've
got the
not got
logic
the logic
well.
well.
Because the same
Because
thing
the
you two,
same
you
thing
are doing
you
it
are
here
doing it
too.
here too.
You just pick,
You
you just
just
form a,
form a,
just start
just
saying
start saying
something,
something,
and
and
the result of
the
the
result of the
programming,
programming, and
you
you
insert,
insert, you install,
you
you
instruct
instruct
the
the
JavaScript
JavaScript
to
to do
do
this,
that
to do
with
that,
what you
with
are
what you
saying,
are
then
saying,
is
then
doing
is
that
doing
thing.
that thing.
But
But
the logic,
the
I've not
logic,
get
I've
the
not
logic
get the
very
logic
well.
very well.
Ah,
God help us.
how would I make you understand this logic? We have to stay 3 days and 3 nights to understand the logic.
People,
See,
more than
More
that,
than
I
that,
know, more
I
than I
know,
don't
man, I don't
understand goes on,
understand
someone will
goes on,
get
someone
it,
will get it.
so let
as
me
you
tell
said.
As
you,
you said,
Mudashiru, can you hear me?
I can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Beautiful. Do you know how we woke up one day and we just our mothers gave birth to us, and the next thing they are teaching us A for apple, B for ball, C for cat,
Yes,
D for dog,
Yes, yes, yes,
and we
yes.
don't even understand what is that. That's what we don't understand. Why are you teaching me A for ball? The next thing they're teaching us how to form sentences. That's English language, right?
yes,
Yes,
yes.
And
yes.
now there are only certain languages the computer understands and translates. The computer does not understand English language, oh my brother. Your computer does not understand French. I'm going somewhere. Your computer does not understand Spanish. Your computer only understands programming languages, which includes JavaScript, PHP, Python, Java, C++, and the rest of them. Now, your duty is to now learn these languages and then communicate with your laptop, with your computer, as if you're communicating with a human being. So, for instance, I want to tell my computer, "How are you?" I would have to create a system where I communicate with it using VS Code and then write in a programming language, and if you don't understand this logic, I don't know how deep I can bend. See, let me not lie for you. For each of our concepts that we have learned so far, before I prepare for our classes, like almost just an hour or 30 minutes. Most times I don't even prepare at all because I'm very tired. Like today's class, I did not even prepare at all. I will be very plain with you. Reason for preparation is to get perfect examples that you'll be able to relate to. If I'm being truthful to you, I did not prepare for this class, but I just say, okay, what would be that best way for you to understand each concept? That's what makes sense. So I try as much as possible to don't. There's no award for making everything too complex. We love hard life. Use the easier route and then get the job done. That's it. That's the main aim. So if I have taught you any concept, just know that that's the most easiest. Even my colleague would actually testify. That's the most easiest way for me to actually get that concept to you. You see this for each I taught you. Trust me, I am supposed to actually go there's how I'm supposed to do it, that will make it confusing. I'm supposed to use numeric arithmetic stuff to do some stuff, but I don't want to go that route now. I want you to be able to grab the concept and know what it does. Then we can now go deep by using it to solve real life problems. So my brother Mudashiru, sorry to digress. Whatever I've done is the best possible way I can teach you that particular concept. Your duty is to sleep on it countless nights. You understand it till you enter your brain. Does that help?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Someone sent me a message. He said, please, sir, kindly help us with the solution to this assignment that have been given thus far on the platform session. It will help a whole lot of us that have challenges with our laptop and actually using the phone. We would appreciate it if a video session of the solution. Okay. Monday. Tomorrow. Okay, so I can use 10 to 15 minutes to solve those assignments. So if you actually want to be part, let me use tomorrow, 10 to 15 minutes from 2 o'clock, sorry, from 3 o'clock to 3:15. So from 3 o'clock to 3:15, we will be solving all the assignments. Yes, I think that would make more sense. Is that agreed for everyone? Do I speak for everybody?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Thank you. All right, so the last one
Yes, sir.
for the
Yes,
day.
sir. We appreciate
We
it, sir.
already
We
solved
appreciate it,
40.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Map method, map method, map method. And this is the method I love so much because I use it almost all the time. Map method. Map method. So what does this method do? This method goes over an array and then returns a new array. Simple as possible. No long talk. But let's go to our slide and see what our slide is telling us. So our slide is saying a map method is an array method that creates a new array by applying a given function to each element of the original array. The map method is a method that creates a new array by applying a given function to each element of the original array. Picture it as um, that method that, for instance, okay, sorry for using this example, but it's the commonly used method, real life human method. A man would meet a female, get married to her, and they'll give birth to what? Children. And those children would look like the man and the woman. As simple as that. That's a clear example of what the map method represents. It would meet with the array, creates children out of the what? The old array. A man gets married to a woman and they give birth to children. Simple. So that's what the map method represents. Now let's do some little stuff on it. So we'll create, let's do some numbers this time. We've been doing, let numbers equals to, so create an array, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me stop at 5. Now you can see this is an array. We've successfully created an array. Now, someone's muted. Okay, so let's apply the map method. So with the map method, you could now come and create another variable. Yeah, that's the map. Numbers.map. Passing an argument that would hold each of them. All right. Very simple. Can anyone explain to me what we just did before I go on to explain? Because I want our classes to be conversational going forward. I just finished. Before I give an output, I want somebody to help me explain what I just did. Anyone?
Can I explain?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. You first of all create a variable called numbers.
Okay.
That hold
I
1,
hold
2, 3,
1,
4,
2, 3,
5.
4, 5. Correct.
Now you declare the new variable called double.
Okay.
And you assign our old variable
numbers. Okay.
Then you map
through it,
which is more like a callback function.
function.
A function
Yeah.
there takes number as an argument.
Correct.
So what it does is that you return number
times 2.
So what it happen is that
It will be the first one will be 1 times 2. If you give me the figure.
The second one will be 2
Second
times
one will
2.
be 2 times 2.
Third one will be
Third
3
one will be
times 2.
3 times 2.
The fourth one will
The
be
fourth
4
one will be
times
4
4.
times 2. 5 times 2.
And the last one
Correct.
will be
The
5
last one
times
5
2.
times 2.
Then what
Then
happened with
what
this
happened with this
in map?
in
We
map?
don't
We don't
return
construct,
a
we
value.
return a value.
So
Correct.
that is why you
So that
return
is why
there
you
and then
return
use
there and then use to print
the new array.
the new array. Correct. Perfect. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Emmanuel Jonathan.
Emmanuel
You don't
Jonathan.
use to
You
reply
don't
to
use to
DMO.
reply my DM. Yeah? And that's to
You don't
reply to
reply
your
my
don't
DM.
reply my DM. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I will.
No.
With this, in short, it's not only you. Let me send this. I know half of this class is actually angry with me. See, a whole lot is happening with me. I have tons of messages. Aside you guys, I have like another set of people I teach personally, about 30 something of them. And
It's
I'm
alright.
also managing them. So the workload is much. And I also work in 2 places. So
There were
trust
some
me,
projects
don't
I did. I
worry.
wanted you to take a review.
Exactly.
It's
No,
not
but
that
I
was
will
my
relate
fault.
to you now. I will relate with you now. If can you send me a hi? You have my WhatsApp number?
No, I don't.
No, I don't. I don't. Just okay on
Drop me.
Telegram, right? You can send me hi now. So while the
All right.
class is on, so I don't forget. Yes, thank you. So what he just said is a perfect example, if not an example, sorry, is a perfect illustration of how the code works. Perfect. I don't need to do much anymore. I don't need to even say anything anymore. He has said it all. So each of these numbers you're seeing is multiplying themselves times 2. As simple as that. 1 times 2 is what? You already know the answer. 2 times 2, 4. 6 times 3, just like that. So, sorry, 3 times 3. Sorry, 3 times 2 rather, sorry. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is what? 8. 5 times 2 is 10. You can see the output below. It's as simple as that. ABC. It's not difficult. Each of these concepts we are learning will be implemented in our React project. So please, 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 I am pleading. We've covered 4 things today. 4 things out of this the things I shared on the group that we'll learn. Tomorrow we'll be going over to templates, literals, spread and rest operators, destructuring. These are the core things we'll be learning tomorrow. And then we'll be doing some fun things. These particular things we learned today are very important. I am begging. If you don't know them, then there's no functional web page you're creating. All functional web pages involve event handlers. That's what makes the web page functional. Arrow functions are needed. Makes your work efficient. Pure functions are also there. Event listeners, map method for each method. These are needed. Time is not our side. We would have shown a more practical approach by using it to solve or create a real-time project. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow before we begin for class. Who has questions for this particular one we just learned?
No question.
No question? Any question? It was a satisfying. Oh, attendance. While we are taking this, let's take in some attendance.
Oh, the question I want to ask. Can I go answer?
Go on, enjoy yourself. Go on.
The question is that you know that you use number there. We use arithmetic there, but what about if you want to use text in place of that numbers?
Now, okay, if I use in place of this number.
Yes. Sir.
Yeah, sure. This is my own code, though. It's not your own code. For each method, I use text. Did I not use text? You can use text. Mudashiru, you don't expect me to be using one part. It's not text. It's called a string. In programming, we don't call text. We don't call text. We call them strings. We call numbers. You know. Don't confuse yourself. Now, this is an array. You can either put text inside. Remember, when you're putting in numbers, you don't use the double quotes. You use you get. So we created these numbers inside there. You can do whatever you choose to like, please. There's no restrictions. This is my own personal code I used, right? Okay. So guys, that's the end of our today's class. Recordings will be made. It's open. I just opened it now.
So sending my medium this thing. My comments.
You say?
Yeah, some of us just send our assignment.
Sure, you can send. I've not started marking. I just saw your message, big hairs. Yeah.